Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach double honors and salutations to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Wisdom, and to the Akim and Akwaf, holding on to the testimony of our Lord Mashiach Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth to all of you. I say Shalom. This Brother Menashe DC Camp, another short lesson for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We consist of you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, all right? So our main focus is about prophecy, what the Lord has deemed to come to fruition, right, to come to pass. And that's basically what our lives are about in this ministry. It's about the prophecies of the Lord. And when you read from the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 9, this is what the Lord was mentioning through his servant Isaiah. He says, Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. All right. And there are so many instances, the Lord out here on the highways and byways have been spoken to the Lord at one point or another about things to come to pass. In the vision, in the middle of the night, it could be in a trance, in the middle of a day. So it's just so much that the Lord has in store for us. He just shows us a glimpse of the things to come. And as time progresses, you see that what was revealed to you is on point. So we all know that that's the Spirit of the Lord. And, that helps you to fight that element of doubt. There is no room for doubt in the ministry of the Lord. This is something you have to consider seriously in the temple of the Lord, right? Whose temple you are. There is no room for doubt in serving the Lord. You don't have, well, you have a high priest, doubting what the Lord has laid, before him to do, as per his responsibilities, as per what he has to do, according to the ministry and the preaching of the gospel, So, book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and let's see, it says, yeah, so this is Habakkuk chapter 2, from verse 1 to verse 3. It says, I will stand upon my watch, all right? So meaning you are acknowledging the responsibility that's being set before you by the Lord, all right? Just like Yahushua said, blessed are they that watch, watch and pray, all right? You need to have those to watch and pray, all right? So that's part of, the spiritual walk in this ministry, okay? So it's part of holding yourself accountable, okay, by accepting the responsibilities set before thee, all right? And set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Yeah, so this is, a key. These are seeds of wisdom to help you grow in this ministry, because you have to be promoted in the spirit to take on certain responsibilities, all right? So that way you know that you are operating efficiently, okay? And then it says in verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kwakadash answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Alright? So the prophets wrote the visions that they had in the scrolls, alright, and they shared that knowledge, with the elect. And also the men of the Lord, this present day and time, they get visions of the Lord, and what do? They write it down on a piece of paper, they jot it down, and then they get the scriptures, they make a lesson, they talk to brothers about it, they share it with the ministry, they share it with the flock of the nation of Israel, alright? And once the word of the Lord goes out, it can't come out void. So you know what happens. That's a faith booster for a lot of our people that are catching so much hell, so much persecution and oppression. You hear about brothers concerned about their videos being interrupted with, once it's online, once they've done the lesson, then the devil comes creeping behind and then it clips everything, So that's just part of the things you have to expect in this ministry. You're going to have to deal with the obstacles, and the Lord will tell you how to handle those situations, okay? And then it's a good way of being prepared. There's no other best way to get yourself prepared besides hearkening unto the words of the Lord, alright? So it says in verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So the Lord has already set a particular point in time, particular point in life, where certain events have to take place, alright? Where certain incidents has to occur, okay? And you just have to let it play out, man. You can't force the course of the river. You can't upset prophecy, And then it says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So this is the truth. The word of the Lord has to come to pass. And then it says, though it tarry, wait for it. In other words, it has to be a build-up. It's a process, all right? The word of the Lord has to go through a process for it to be revealed in its entirety, as per the actions upon the face of the earth, all right? But it will surely come, it will not tarry, all right? So it will not be diverted in a different direction. It's a process. It's not going to be delayed. It's going to show up when it's going to show up. And that's how it is. It's like a so-called chemical reaction. It has to go through a process for it to be completed, So you got the reactants, and then you have the catalysts, and then you have the products, So those are the elements of a chemical, experiment, man. The elements of a chemical experiment. Things happen, all right? So you just have to build on that, okay? And then the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, and (13). It says, I will bring near my righteousness. It shall not be afar off. My salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. So that's the plan we're waiting on, man. That's the plan we're waiting on. And then look at verse 12. It tells you, hearken unto me, ye stout-hearted, that are far from righteousness. So this is words of reproof from the Lord to our people, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, spread out throughout the four corners of the earth. These are words of reproof, all right? Words for us to get it together before the dreadful day of the Lord. It says in verse 13, I will bring near my righteousness. It shall not be afar off. My salvation shall not tarry. So, for salvation to take place, the Lord has to purge the earth of its iniquities. The Lord has to break that barrier that's holding our people back from repenting. So he has to tear down the power structure of Edom, the power structure of these heathens, that's making our people to stumble. And then the Lord will take away that cloak of doubt, that cloak of ignorance from our people's minds, so they could serve the Lord in righteousness, in spirit, and in truth. All right. And then it says, and I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. So that's the spirit, that's salvation is deliverance from calamities, from the calamities that are coming upon the face of the earth. Salvation is preservation from doubt, from danger. So that's exactly what we're looking forward to, man. Salvation, salvation, salvation. Hope that when you fall, that you get back up and you continue on the course to finish the journey. And when the Lord mentions Israel, his glory, hey, what else, man? The Lord chose our people, chose his people, the Israelites, to be his representatives upon the face of the earth. So why should our people, give the Lord such a hard time, in trying to be an emulator of something else besides that? What always want to be a copycat of the heathen rather than be an originator or being standing on your own principles, which are the principles that comes from the Heavenly Father. That's what righteousness is all about. It's about principles. Words of wisdom, words of guidance to make sure your foundation, lasts forever, an everlasting foundation, okay? And then when you look at Isaiah chapter 60, you read verse 22, all right? This is exactly what we're looking at. In fact, verse 21, it says, thy people shall all be righteous. All right. The nation of Israel, the Lord will have to bring them near, just like the Lord talks about people near unto him. Yes, the Lord is the ultimate script writer, man. He understands the value of having a dynamic relationship with his characters, So he has to let certain things be revealed, and then you understand the value of the script, the words of prophecy, and you want to adapt your thinking, adapt your mannerisms to that script, so it could be the best character, for that position, for that part, So you have to, take on that full garment, So it says, they shall inherit the land forever. What land? The land of Israel. And many, many other lands beyond the land of Israel, okay? The branch of my planting, okay? The work of my hands, that I may be glorified. And that's another, precept that links well with Isaiah chapter 46 and 13, all right? And then the icing on the cake is in 22, it says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Kwakadash, will hasten it in his time. So these are prophecies we are looking forward to. The Lord has to purge iniquity out of our nation so that we could have a holy and peculiar people unto him, a holy priesthood unto him, a royal priesthood unto him. All right. So this is exactly what the men of the Lord are longing for. This is what they're sighing and crying for on a daily basis, man. Every moment the man of the Lord has a quiet time. This is exactly what his focus and intent are bent towards. All right. So remember, man, the Lord will bless us with all the children that we deserve, man. Land and servants and all that stuff. And I also would love to go into the book of Numbers to examine the history of our people, and then look at the blessings of the Lord upon our forefathers, Abraham, Yasharala, and Yatazakak, Yeah, so it's just one of those beautiful things we have to remember, man. So one more precept will be from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, and I'm going to read from verse 9 to 10. This is what the Lord told our forefather Jeremiah the prophet. Then the Lord Yahabashim Avshai Bashim Kwakadash put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. So what does that do? What does that do? That's the first step towards prophesying. The Lord puts his spirit upon you to speak his words, all right, not the words of another. All right, so this is what you read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, or is it chapter 5, talking about drinking waters from thine own cistern, all right, drinking waters from thine own cistern. So you have to Proverbs chapter 5. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 15. All right. It says, drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. So the wells of the Lord at the cisterns you have to be drinking from, man. That's our water, that's our resource, And then it says in verse 10, See, I have these days set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms. So the Lord has elevated his people, the prophets, the prophets of Israel, to rule over these kingdoms. That's the promise you see in the book of Revelation. That Yahweh says that he's going to give his elect to rule the nations with a rod and a staff. All right, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. So those are very, very special privileges. Let me not even say privileges, man. Special gifts from the Lord to have domination over these nations, man. The nations of the world, and this is why the elites of this world envy the prophets so bad. They envy our people, the Israelites, and they're just upset and nervous that the prophecies are coming to pass, and they have to act fast to try to derail it, but they cannot be derailed. They're just as much characters in the Most High's play. in the Most High's theater as us. Okay, so they can't deviate from the script that the Lord has set for them to read on. So what we're doing here is just table reading. Yeah, so just to make this short and concise, I'm gonna get to final precept. It's from the book of Second Peter, chapter 1, and verse 19. It says, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts." This is exactly what we're waiting for, man. You know, to see the fruition of the Most High's works. Okay? Though it tarry, wait for it, it shall come to pass. So this is what we need to continue this journey and to finish it, man. You have to believe exactly what the Lord has said He will do, and you know, hold on to it, man. You know, you have to admire, you know, that spirit of patience, you know, that spirit of hope, the spirit of getting yourself organized for the journey, you know. And once you are able to finish the journey, you get the reward, you know, for having faith, for trusting the process, for trusting Him that put the whole agenda together, and that's the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash. So that's the point that I came. So the title of this lesson is just going to be acknowledging the words of prophecy. You know, that's all we are expected to do. You have to acknowledge it. You have to hold on to it. You have to cherish it. Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash Shalom.